Okay, Dan, thanks a lot. And I know you're going to be back in a little bit, so everybody stay tuned for that. This year certainly has been a very tumultuous one and a very challenging one, filled with tragedies and a lot of uncertainty, we know, but it also has been a terrific time to sort of showcase the true community spirit and what we can do for each other and for our community. And CASL has just been the perfect example. By the way, want to let you know that CASL was featured in our ABC News special called Asian Influences Standing Strong during this pandemic, and that program was just nominated for an Emmy. So hopefully, fingers crossed, so stay tuned to see if we actually win that Emmy. But kudos to CASL, and of course a little pat on the back for the entire team here at ABC7. So now to say a few more words about CASL and the work that it has been doing, especially more important right now during this pandemic time, our CASL board chair Jim Mark and of course CASL CEO Paul Liu. Take it away, guys.
Good evening. My name is Jim Mark and I am the board chair at CASL. I want to thank all of you for attending our virtual gala. In previous years, we would be celebrating together in person, but as we all know, this year is very different. The global pandemic has presented a myriad of challenges and changes to all of us. Presented with these challenges, CASL did what we have always done. We adapted and responded to the needs of the individuals and families we serve. From the very beginning, CASL has been committed to responding to the needs of the community. It led to our expansion to our first offices where we could set up regular service hours, and then to our first building where we finally had the space to start on-site child care programs. The community told us they needed affordable senior housing, and we listened, taking on the challenge and building what is now known as the Albert and Bernie Wong Senior Living Community. More recent changes have included the expansion of our youth program spaces. The new, larger spaces not only accommodate more students and have newer technology, they have allowed the programs to take a more holistic approach to supporting students now and as they prepare for the future. CASL's success through the years have all been connected to our commitment to working with the community to respond to their needs. This has never been put to the test more than this year. In the early days of shelter in place, we saw the need for our services continue and in some cases increase, but it was no longer safe to operate how we had traditionally, in person. We had to adapt. Where we could, we took our services online and via the phone. Our staff held webinars and group lessons via video conference, and our teachers created lessons shared on YouTube. We were one of the first adult day service programs approved by the state for our remote service model, which included daily meal delivery and check-ins with our staff. We created new processes and protocols with clients and staff, with safety as a priority when in-person service was needed. One of the more impactful programs developed from an immediate need as a result of the COVID crisis is that our seniors in the community were facing food insecurity. It wasn't safe for them to travel in the neighborhood to get groceries. Programs that had provided hot meals were closing, and those that had families were not able to help. We were able to quickly adapt to address this immediate concern by reaching out to businesses, funders, and individuals for support. Despite all the challenges we faced this year, I'm proud of our organization and how we pivoted to support our community. Thank you for your support to allow us to enable, inspire, and empower. Now I'm happy to introduce CASL CEO, Paul Liu.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you to all who are joining us tonight. Enable, inspire, empower. Those three words were selected as a theme for tonight as they represent the backbone of CASL's mission. For those of you who follow us on social media, we hope you have enjoyed this week's series of stories from CASL staff and program participants illustrating the importance of CASL's programs and how we are working each day to enable, inspire, and empower thousands of lives. Earlier this year, CASL had to look at new ways to deliver our essential programs and services. In our transition to remote services, we enabled our youth to continue their learning and reaching development goals through regular interactions with their teachers by virtual lessons. Children joined Zoom calls to hear stories and see their friends. They saw their lessons taught remotely from their favorite teachers. Parents were provided support and help with instruction by our amazing staff. Our vulnerable seniors face very real dangers from being cut off from their regular check-ins and social activities that keep them engaged physically, socially, and emotionally. CASL enabled them to continue to live independently by providing meal service. We enabled them to stay connected through regular check-in phone calls and introduced them to other methods of connecting virtually. As a result, they not only were able to remain healthy, but their families were able to continue knowing their loved ones were supported when they could not be there in person. CASL's programs inspire our community to reach for more. We told you the story of Helen Cow, who grew up in CASL's programs from the age of 3. CASL's program helped raise her by providing a strong cultural base and education that inspired her to pursue a career in early childhood education. I'm proud to share that Helen is now our Child Development Center coordinator and has the pleasure of working alongside one of her teachers that helped raise her. Helen now inspires the next generation of CASL's children to reach their full potential as productive citizens, just as she did a generation ago. CASL also empowered members of the community. Jen and her husband immigrated to the United States in 1985 in hopes of finding more opportunity. They found CASL where they participated in classes empowering them to become U.S. citizens. John then enrolled in CASL's culinary training program where he learned new skills and secured employment that enabled them to support their growing family. Later, Jen returned to CASL again to find support in completing social service applications for utility relief, Medicaid, citizenship, and so much more. With CASL's holistic approach, Jen's adult children have used CASL services for their families as well. Their children, Jen's grandchildren, have attended CASL's early childhood education programs. CASL continued to empower those children to transition to elementary school with all the essential tools they needed for success. Jen and John regard CASL as extended family. Today, they participate in our senior services. CASL has empowered both to live independently with the support of our in-home care services. Jen is even a part of our senior ladies dance team. These are just a few miracles of how CASL enables, inspires, and empowers generations of families in Chicago. As Jim mentioned, CASL continues to look for new ways that we can support our community. As a part of our recent 3-year strategic plan, our Center for Social Impact is collecting and analyzing data from our clients and community to help improve our programs and identify new potential services. This year, CASL has expanded our legal services program to operate Monday through Friday with a full-time managing attorney to address the ever-growing legal needs of our families. Through a generous grant, we will expand our staff training and support in the areas of Alzheimer's education and care. CASL is very fortunate and thankful to all of our donors and leaders. These vital services and growth are championed by your support. With your continued support, we can enable, inspire, and empower for years to come.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Jim, for your continued leadership. So incredibly proud to be working alongside the both of you. So as I mentioned earlier, Dan Campbell is coming back to let you know how your gift tonight can make such a difference in the lives of CASL's clients and to help CASL continue to enable, to inspire, and empower the community. So here is Dan.